Take one.
And action.
All right, so I want to get into the first. I'm guessing it's the first album. It would be Country Kitchen.
Yup. 02.
That came out in 2002. Now, was that independent or major?
No, that was straight independent.
Independent?
That was out the mud.
Mm.
Literally.
Now, was this to a point where you're like, okay, I'm taking this serious, or is this something like, let's just see what's...
We were just trying to figure it out. Like, this was... So Country Kitchen started really in 98.
Okay.
So it took us like 3 or 4 years to get that album out, you know.
And they usually say the first album is always like that. It
was
takes
hard.
those years. Everything after that, now you're just trying to keep up.
Well, we didn't know what we were doing, you know. Like we had just went and bought. This was before computers that we were recording on computers. Like we were still using the 8-track tape, the 4-track tape recorder first.
Making it
we
work,
got an 8-track one, but. You know, we were starting off not knowing we were producing all of our own beats. So all of the beats on this stuff was made on a little Boss drum machine. Yeah. And we had access to a Triton back in the day. And then we bought a Motif. Yeah. So we were buying equipment. We were using bootleg versions of like...
That's not bad equipment at that time.
No, it wasn't. But like we was working too. Like we were, and like I said, we were hustling. So... we was putting hustle money right into the studio. Like we had a plan. Yeah, but we in 2002, we put out Country Kitchen. That was me and O-Rig produced.
Now, this is physical era,
yeah, straight
right?
physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I did want to ask you about that too. We can go ahead and ask that. Since you came from a physical area and now living in a digital area, what do you think the difference is between having physicals versus, I guess, being forced on streaming, because we didn't agree on these prices and
manufacturing cost?
Yeah.
I ain't got to pay for no CDs to get made.
Too. Yeah.
Which is a big deal.
It was.
You know, CDs were a bitch to get made. You had to hit up CD Baby and all them and be like, man, I got to get 1,000 of these. And it's like, they finally got it to where it was like $700 and something, about $800 for 1,000 CDs. You got the paper sleeves and, you know, you go through all the learning process. Country Kitchen being the first one, because even right now, I've got a briefcase in my closet that's got all of the spine insert artwork, like all that. I got a stack of it still left over from when we had Country Kitchen pressed up.
Yeah.
And I would have to go out and do a physical, what's it called? Distribution deal, but with the store.
Right. Consignment.
Thank you. I would have to do consignment deal with like New Life in Nashville. Yep. I'd have to drive all the way to Nashville, go to New Life, be like, hey, can I put these in here? And they're like, yeah, what do you want for them? I'm like, well, I'd like to get 14. Like, well, we're going to give you 7. Yeah. And it's like, well, shit, I paid $5. Right. So now I'm making $2. That sucks. But Hastings, back in the day, they would let you do a consignment deal. Out the trunk was most... You know, how we did everything. We would just ride around with CDs and go from place to place and be like, yo, buy my CD, 2nd Avenue. Before Broadway was even a place to be in Nashville, when 2nd Avenue was the place to be. We walk around 2nd Avenue trying to sell the CDs. And, you know, you did what you had to do back in the day.
So what do you think about the streaming now? You think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, I'm cool with it. It's whatever makes it easier for people to listen to your music. What I don't like is the algorithm.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, streaming's cool. Algorithm is a bitch.
Yeah. You know what I heard the other day where somebody said the original streaming was radio.
Yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah, that's it. And radio's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still, you know, it's still got a pulse.
It's available.
It's available, but it ain't got no real heartbeat. You know, if you make it on radio, you're doing big.
Yeah,
you know, that's still a thing because they're not just playing anybody.
No.
That's the one thing that hasn't changed about radio that I like.
But it did mean more at that time to be on the radio, because there was only
it means only more
BT,
today.
Only MTV, only VH1, only radio.
Yeah, it means more today than it did then, because they took a risk back then. They don't take risks now. They only go with guarantees on the radio.
They only know what's
because you can risk take on SoundCloud, YouTube, all the DSPs. You can be risky out there, but radio, they don't take no risk.